Hello. Ah, I take it the Elder Seed Seer's words have touched your heart. You resolved to entwine your destiny with that of the Twin Adder? Yeah, alright. You've chosen wisely and wildly. My friend, the Elder Seed Seer will be overjoyed. Without further ado, let us speak of practical matters. In order to complete the enrollment procedure, you must report to the headquarters in Gridania, the Adder's Nest. Ooh, and I get honey yellow dye. Awful. The building you seek stands in the southernmost part of the city, now called New Gridania. Give your name to the personnel officer there, and he will guide you through the formalities. I have no doubt but that your deeds will bring great honor to the Order. When next we meet in Gridania, I shall be proud to call you brother. Brother. To the Gridania. Actually, so there's a boat, like, right here. Where does it take me? I'm a little curious. Also, it seems like these white-haired twins are the actual main characters of this story. So, they're mysterious characters, and the game does a job of having, like, mysterious characters kind of like in the background of the story and make you go like, ooh, who are they? Are they important? And then you're like, oh, they are important when they become important. Like, Y'shtola was the same way. It was just like, ooh, mysterious cat girl. What's she all about? And then, you know, you meet her, and then you find out what she's all about. Like, yeah, the twins are gonna play a big part in the story. Like, you could almost call that a spoiler, but it's pretty obvious, right? Now, I haven't gotten too far in this story, so I don't know how far they go. But I wouldn't be shocked if they stuck through for every expansion. Man, I am excited to get to the parts that I have not been to yet. And in case you're wondering, that would be Stormblood. I got to Stormblood. And there was some underwater temple I got to. The dungeons were always like a tripping point for me in the story, because I had to play them with other human beings. And I always got like super nervous that I was going to let everybody down by not knowing the mechanics and having them run it twice. You know, a fate worse than death. And so, like, every time I got to a dungeon, I would take the time to study it. And eventually, I got tired of study. That happens to me a lot. I'm quite famous for my ability to drop out of everything. I dropped out of high school. I dropped out of college. Eventually, I'm hoping to drop out of work, but I also need to eat. It's been quite a problem, actually. Hello, Tara Mochi. I like the lipstick. You are come to the Adder's Nest. I am be here, it is true. Headquarters of the Order of the Twin Adder. Ever do we welcome they who would toil in the elemental's name for the good of our forest nation. You haven't gotten far into the main game, just the main town. Ooh. The game starts with them, and they spout exposition. Every time you see them, they're probably going to be important. Yeah. How'd you get into college after you dropped out of high school? My GED and standardized test scores were high enough that I got accepted into college pretty easily. Like, I'm not dumb. I'm just, I just don't do homework. It gets in the way of my video game time. Anyway, my name is Old Sugarheart. I believe you were expecting me? The great adventurer himself, yes. Our recruitment officer sent word that you were on your way. It's a pleasure and an honor to both welcome you, both to welcome you to our ranks. Our friend. Wait, a pleasure and an honor both to you. I am butchering that in my head. Now let me gather the relevant documentation. Sir! What is it? Report. An urgent message from Amarasay Spire? Sir? A Highwind Skyways airship has taken fire from Imperial's forces in the skies over the East Shroud. The vessel's engine were crippled, sir, and it was forced to make an emergency landing southeast of the Nine Ivies. Nine Ivies? Ah, gods. This could not have come at a worse time. All but a handful of our forces are presently afield, dealing with the Ixal. Old, I know you full well have yet to be formally inducted into our ranks, but we have urgent need of your aid. In all likelihood, the airship was bearing civilians, if the reports are accurate. It will have come down dangerously close to Garlean occupied territory. Please make haste to the southeast of the Nine Ivies, locate the airship, and ascertain the status of the passengers. Okay. Woo! Aw. You are a yellow bean. Alright, where exactly am I going? Is there an easy way there? I don't see an easy way. I think we're gonna have to do some walking. Is there a chocobo ride? Yes. Take me to Bent Branch. It's a little closer. And on the way, I will tell you my story of school. So, at some point in my school, I was like a good straight A student for a while. And then at some point, around 6th grade, my parents were used to take my like finished homework and use it to like light fires in the fireplace. Like it was an easy source of tinder, you know? But one time they grabbed homework I had yet to turn in, used that to start a fire, and I went to school and I was like, they were like, where's your homework? I'm like, my parents burned it. And like they just treated me like I was a liar, and they were like, oh, your parents burned your homework. And I'm like, you can call and ask them. Like, it's what happened. And they're like, ugh, well, I guess I'll give you the homework to do again. And I expect it by tomorrow. And I thought about it, and I'm like, he's treating me like such an ass. Like, I've never not turned in homework before in my entire, like, scholastic career. And it was hard homework. I don't want to do it again. And so I didn't. And you know what I discovered? Nothing happened. Don't tell my kids this. But there's very little consequence to not doing your homework, especially when you're from like a small mountain village and there is no other school. Like they don't kick you out of that school. And so like I decided to run an experiment. I continued to not do homework and not receive any negative consequences whatsoever. And I was like, oh my God, I can just stop doing homework. And this was, you know, all well and good for a while. But eventually, my family moved to a city. A city with multiple schools and, you know, schools with actual standards. And all of a sudden, my not doing homework tasks were an issue. But by then, I wasn't ready to start doing homework. I mean, I'd grown accustomed to the lifestyle, and the lifestyle was great. Like, I was paying attention in class, I aced every test, I just didn't do homework. So, like, my grades were, like, A's or F's, depending on, like, how much homework the class actually had and how much weight it had. Like, I actually had an A in math, because I did all the homework while the teacher was teaching. But, like, I refused to do homework at home. And honestly, it was great. Am I anywhere near the southeast ivies yet? There it is. Way down there. Is there a chocobo keep around here? I'd hate to make this walk twice. Oh, that's why your partner did in high school too? Yeah. But eventually, in my new school, they were like, you have to retake this class, and this class, and this class. And I was like, you know, if I keep retaking all these classes, like, do I actually get to graduate? And they're like, probably not if you don't pass them eventually. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to stay here. And so, let's see, you know, being a kid with the weight of the world on their shoulders, I was at home bawling my eyes out. And my brother, my older brother, came up with a master plan. Like, he stayed up all night and he was like, I'm 18. It is legal for me in this state to homeschool him. And so he convinced my parents, like, that was a course of action that he can actually do. And so, like, we approached my parents like, I'm not going to school anymore. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, because I can't graduate. And they're like, well, that's a problem. Do graduate. And I'm like, well, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be homeschooled. And they're like, I don't have time to homeschool you. We both work. And I'm like, fair enough. But my brother, he does not. And they're like, he can't homeschool you. And we're like, we looked it up. He can. And they were like, oh, shit. Well, okay, on one condition, you get a GED, and then you can stay home and be homeschooled by your brother. And bless my brother, he did his best. Hang on, let's interrupt for the story, because, you know, I've got viewers who are actually here for the game for some reason. Let's see, I need to remember where I was in the story. So my brother began homeschooling me, and there was one condition, like, I get a GED as soon as possible. All right, now that story's on hold for this story. An adventure? What are you doing out here? Oh, wait. Let's find some cover first. The Adder's Nest sent you. How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Well, I shook my head. Does that help? Peace, friend. We mean you no harm. You're the engineer of the Garland Ironworks, are you not? We were alerted to your plight and have come to rescue you. And you are old Sugarheart, I presume? I was told to expect an honorary serpent. My thanks for your aid, friend. There's gonna be a lot of gangster kneeling around here. I've never seen a craft of this design. It must be Garland's work. Is there no end to the man's treachery? The secrets of Magitech belong in Imperial hands. They're not to be squandered by Eorzean savages. We're taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must. And bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Imperial scouts from Castromorians. They mean to requisition the ship. Wedge, you have to help him. The poor fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. The tiny Bronco? But isn't it at the Ironworks' latest creation? It's the first ship we built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight, and she was soaring. She really was. Till those bastards blasted her out of the sky. Attend me all. The Ironworks' latest creation must not fall into Garlean hands. We shall strike them swift and sure and rescue Engineer Wedge. Old, I trust we can rely on your support. Yeah, I'll hit some things. May the matron watch over us. With me. Yar. An ambush! To arms! I'm not getting aggro. Where's my get aggro button? Whoa! What is going on back here? They had a Magitech armor stored in the luggage compartment. You laughed out loud at... Yeah, I'll hit some things. I mean, that's the kind of vibe the early quests have, right? Everyone's just kind of assuming you'll help me. It's like, yeah, alright. I mean, we just met, but okay. I guess I'll be the hero of light. Biggs! Wedge, you should have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. So everyone knows that Sid's in all the Final Fantasy games, but Biggs and Wedge are also in a lot of them. Sometimes they call Biggs Vix. Like, I think that's a translation issue. Yeah, Biggs and Wedge. Yo, right? Too damn close. So, how does she look anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. Few minor modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. And while you do your work, we shall keep watch over the perimeter. The enemy may yet be lurking nearby. As for you, Old, you've more than done your part today. I bid you return to the Adder's Nest and complete your enlistment. I pray there will be no further interruptions. Until next we meet, let it be as fellow serpents of the Order. I just wanted to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously, though. If it hadn't been for you and the twin Adder lads there, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in near debt, friend. We both are. Thank you, Onion Head. Wedge. Why, he nodded. Thank you, we're very grateful. So that's where the Garleans hang out over here. And we got this little spy tower over here. Cute. Maximilwa? Maximilwa? Is that your name? Okay, so let's see. Where was I in my story? My brother was to homeschool me. And I took the GED test at the earliest convenience. This was when I was 15. And so, like, I'm sitting there with a bunch of, like, 40-year-old single dads trying to get their life together. And I aced the test. The GED was easier than a lot of the homework I had to deal with in high school. And my brother, you know, he tried to homeschool me to some degree, but he was not going to do any kind of official manner of it. So what he did was he gave me, like, his college books for, like, Japanese 101 and Intro to Programming. And I tried both of those. I tried to learn both of them. I got far enough in Japanese to get to the written language, and then I was like, are you kidding? No. You borrowed all these characters for what reason? I refuse. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? Yeah. And so that leaves programming. And, you know, I downloaded some, like, a basic compiler, started programming in C++. I made, like, a basic game of tic-tac-toe, which, you know, at the time was pretty rare. Like, they teach programming a lot earlier in high school these days, or, you know, at all. But it was kind of it was still the new hotness when I was young. And so, like, yeah, I taught myself how to program to some degree. I wasn't any good at it, but I discovered I had a passion for it, and it just kind of made sense. Like, if you play video games long enough, you just kind of get, like, a feel for the code behind it, you know? Like, it's all true or false questions all the way down. Like, did you select the attack button? You did. Okay, you attack. Did the attack hit? It did, yeah. You do some damage. How much damage do you do? Somewhere between this and this. Cool. Did you kill it? You did? Yay. Victory tune. Like, programming is very basic and easy when you think about it. So, anyway. On top of that, and trying to apply for work as a 15-year-old with a GED was very hard. So, like, for the next 3 years, I didn't do much of anything. Like, I read what I wanted to learn, and I slept when I was tired, I ate when I was hungry. It was all pretty great. It was honestly, like, the best time of my life. But, you know, I knew life was kind of gonna head to a rough patch if I just kind of stayed where I was. So the goal was to go to college. Video games be nothing but bullions, right? Yeah, oh man, that sounds awesome. It was great. And honestly, I feel like that's what most people in the world are lacking, is just genuine time to do nothing for an extended period of time. Hello, Bug Boy. And, like, yeah. It helped me become a better person. Like, I actually put some serious thought into, like, who I was, how I treated the people around me. Like, I first started to grow as a human being when I had time to introspect a little bit. And it changed my personality a lot for the better. I was still a horrible person, probably until I was like 30. But I was growing and learning. And then, after all of that, let's see. The goal was to find work and save up money for college. And I did just that, except for the save money for college. I worked for many years, like storing a little ways at a time. And then I broke my arm without insurance and they took all my money. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to college with no money. Everyone else seems to do that all right. And so I did. Frontal cortex isn't fully formed until we're 25, so that makes sense, right? I'd say mine didn't fully form until at least 27, maybe 30. I always felt a little behind socially and intellectually. In any case, I need to wrap this up. Oh, hold, it does my spirit well to see you've returned. Word arrived but moments ago from the teen of the 9 Ivies. Lest you worry, the 2 engineers are safely on their way. The lieutenant informs me that you were instrumental in the mission's success. Had you not found Engineer Biggs when you did, and helped us rout the Garleans, things might have been very different. And all this before you were even inducted into the Order. You're well on your way to carving out a fine career for yourself beneath the Twin Adder standard. But without further ado, let us see to your induction. 12 willing, there won't be any further interruptions. Woo! Do. Hey, some of us are late bloomers. Yeah. I just find that I constantly have growing and learning to do. Like, I got into streaming kind of late. I mean, I'm an old man and all. But, like, I genuinely think I honestly wasn't ready until, like, some point in my 30s. Like, I don't feel like my personality was developed enough that I could be a decent human being, enough that I can interact with people on a large scale and not give bad advice or say dumb things. I mean, one of these days, someone's going to find my old social media accounts and find out old things I said when I was 15 and hold those against me. And they're right to do so. But I like to think I have grown up as a person. You've not grown as a person unless you're ashamed of everything you said not too long ago. And the more recent you said something you're ashamed of, the quicker you are growing. Anyway, we all make mistakes, we all get better, we're all growing. I've got to call it quits for today. I've got a lot of stuff I need to do before I pick up the kids from school. Thank you so much for watching. I will be on at my normal time tomorrow. Like, it sounds like a promise. I hope it's a promise. I've been falling off as of late, and we'll get back together before too long. What day is today? Today's Tuesday, right? I think today's Tuesday. If it's Tuesday, then tomorrow we're playing Final Fantasy 14 tomorrow. Boo, 2 a.m. stream. Yeah, I know, man. We are trying something new this week. Since I am often dead on Monday morning as a direct result from streaming all night Saturday night, we're going to try moving that stream up to Friday night so I'm less stressed and have less work to do on Sunday. Call hooky tomorrow. Man, my vacation time did just roll over. I'm not going to make any promises, but next week is Labor Day weekend. And so I don't want to make any promises because I don't know what I'm going to do with that time. But that extra holiday time, I want to spend playing video games. We'll just see what happens. So there might be a surprise stream or two. I just want to get back to my regular schedule so people can count on me to being here when I say I'm going to be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And if you're on Twitch, stick around and we'll find somebody to raid. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. It was a great chat. I learned a lot about you. Come on, who am I following? There's gotta be somebody cool here. Gimme Hug is playing Mika and the Witch's Mountain. That could be good. Zydari is also very cool. It looks like she just started. And Sir Rolfs is playing Liza P. The lesbian next door is playing Coral Island. Do you have a preference? Since you're the only one chatting right now? You want to see Mika and the Witch's Mountain? Science and Technology, Liza P, or Coral Island? Like, they're all pretty cool people. First one sounds cool? Cool. I'm sending you to Gimme Hug then. I've wanted to check this game out too. This is a fairly new, cozy release. I think it's a witch platformer? Hard to say. Anyway. Be sure to tell Gimme Hug I said hi. Have a great time. And take it easy. Bye-bye.